I would contend that Marty's not hitting the Rolls Royce in the future ended up changing the future of most technology to move 20 years forward, while speeding up some other tech like social media. Let's start at the beginning of our first peek at the future. Number 1, Mr. Fusion. Sadly, don't expect something like this for 50 to 100 years. There are tech looking to get fusion using very, very large systems of plasma to create sustainable fusion in around 10 years, but nothing that turns trash into energy using fusion. Maybe when the future changed, Doc went 100 years into the future to fix his plutonium problem, and maybe that's why he couldn't afford a Tesla motor conversion, which would have fixed a lot of his problems. Flying cars. This one's probably also possible in about 30 years when we figured out how to make jet fuel from algae. Sadly, it will use hovercraft, not anti-grav tech, unless we make some serious breakthroughs. Yes, there is a hoverboard now, but only works on copper and eats battery like crazy, but who knows? With battery tech, maybe they could possibly transfer the tech to cars in 30 years. Number 3, optical nerve sedation. We have no evidence that this could be made, but with projects like the Human Brain Project and the whole Connectome Project, who knows? Number 4, driving on the skyways. While fun to think about, it's entirely unfeasible unless the system is at least partially automated or everyone gets a pilot's license. Most likely in 30 years, if we have flying cars, they will be mostly, if not completely, automated, unless you take pilot training. Number 5, weather control. In 30 years, computer or climate models may be correctly analyzed by computers that make ours look ancient. Also, balloon tech using a mix of swarm robot tech and proton pumps to adjust hydrogen levels, similar to what exists in cells, could make balloon tech stable enough to localize and cause cold spots and actually control the weather to an extent. Number 6, body regeneration. This will be possible at some level in 2045. Organ and tissue printing, skin and hair regeneration, and blood purification filtering out toxins that aging blood naturally contains, along with gene therapy. You may be able to live and look and feel great for potentially ever. Number 7, automated self-fitting and self-drying clothes. Nanofibers may make self-drying clothes work in the future. Self-fitting clothes aren't really in high demand. Power laces came out for Back to the Future specialty stores, but that's about it. Smart facial recognition binoculars. This may be worked on by the military, but the casual civilian has really no use for it. The Holographic Shark. Google is working on flat-screen holographic tech at the moment. To jump the shark, you will see large walls that are screens in the McFly household. This is also something you will see in the next 10 years. In 30 years, the Jaws stunt will be completely affordable, though the shark will still have to look fake to prevent freaking out some pedestrians who need trigger warnings. Number 10, 80s nostalgia bar. While this may exist somewhere, the use of the Ayatollah and Ronald Reagan to recite your menu and order your food to use voice activation does not exist. In 10 years with Siri and Cortana, this will probably be doable. Sheetz is a touchscreen restaurant in the East where you order a ton of different options and pick out the order from a computer. However, with voice recognition, right now the experience would be closer to voice-activated customer complaint system, and we all know how pleasurable that is. Also, they would never have predicted that the GOP would be deifying Reagan to that level, so this kind of 80s nostalgia bar would have only been like a shrine to Ronald Reagan. Number 11, wires in the head. Neuro enhancements probably won't exist for the average person for around 50 years. Maybe 30 years for someone with cognitive impairment, which could be true about Griff. 12, no lawyers. While funny, evidence processing robots may exist, and the most powerful case for both sides may possibly be analyzed by a computer. Lawyers are already being replaced in the paperwork area. It used to take 18 lawyers to facilitate a corporate merger. Now it takes 2 as computers automatically generate the paperwork. It could happen with trial lawyers in 30 years, but hardly any guarantees. 13. Hydrated food. Not likely. The new future 30 years from now will probably be 3D printed food. 14. Dustproof paper. This was commented on by the antiques dealer selling the almanac, trying to explain what a book dust cover is. Nanotech is advancing, and there is already liquid and stain-resistant nanotech. Dust-resistant coatings that are anti-static may be down the road as well. Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw from my channel, please subscribe and donate to my Patreon. If you have evidence to counter what I say, please provide it. If you liked this video, Please click on the Future Shorts playlist on the screen.